What's up, everybody? It's your boy Maximilian, Max Speed. Tonight, Laughs and Hip Hop bring you another episode. What's this? Episode 5, right? 6, 5, 6.
Episode 5.
5. Episode 5. It's called A Different World. Pass it on to my bros to the left and right of me.
What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Dwayne Nettles, aka Mr. Nettles, back in the building. We've been away for a while. Glad to be back in the building. Pass it to my brother Jose.
What's good, y'all, man? This Jose Rivera right here, man. You guys listening to the last HipHop podcast, trying to support my boy Curry with the Under Armour, having an amazing season, I know it's a lot of Laker fans out there that don't want to give him the time, man. But
this man,
how we go there? How we get there?
Amazing.
I'm representing Curry, Curry Nation, bro. That's been doing that for the last couple of years, bro. A lot of Laker fans.
He repping Under Armour. He's repping under 500 is what he's repping.
Whoa, hold on. Hold on. We can listen. We can talk some NBA talk after we get past these topics. If y'all want to do some NBA talk,
we get back on topic.
We can definitely, But like I said, tonight's topic is called A Different World. So Meek Mill has been heavily in the he's been heavy in social media. His name is being brought up a lot, with the Kobe Bryant lyric. And we're gonna talk about Cam Newton tonight as well. But first, let me ask y'all what y'all think about that Meek Mill lyric and how his name is being portrayed in the media right now. We go with you first.
Jose, I'm gonna let Jose go first. Jose has a chance.
All right.
I mean, I felt like, because I'm trying to figure out how I can formulate this. I feel that the lyric, it can be taken in a disrespectful way. I can't stop the way how Vanessa Bryant feels, or the Bryant family, or people that are avid Kobe fans. I can't make somebody feel different if they felt that Meek was being disrespectful. That's their personal opinion, because this is subjective. It's not like a fact. It's not an opinion. Also, as well, I feel that when it came to the bar, I feel like he was trying to go for shock value, and he wanted to try to relate the way of, him lacking and people coming after him, and he got this this big gun, the chopper, and he going out like a legend, like Kobe did, in the chopper. So I understand like what he was trying to do. I've heard some people say, bad timing. It was insensitive. So I don't want to say that. I don't want to make people think that, I don't care about what Vanessa Bryant thinks, but I also want to let people know that this is entertainment, and this is rap, as well. So it's a double entendre. So
Wayne, can I go first? Can I go? Because I got to get this on my chest. First of all, she even said she doesn't even listen to Meek Mill. So, okay, somebody probably sent that to her, right? Somebody, whatever. Like, if she doesn't listen to Meek Mill, or somebody just brought it to her attention, like, I'm trying to understand, like, you know what I mean? Like, I hope when Meek talked to her, I hope he broke down the lyric and what he meant. I know what he meant by the lyric. And that's my thing. Like, she don't even, she doesn't listen to Meek Mill. Not only that, do you understand rap? I'm sure she doesn't understand none of that. So, you know what I mean? I think she's just more so going by public opinion. You know what I'm saying? Stories surrounding Meek. We talk about we talk about all these different factors. So that's what I believe, man. I think this whole situation is blown out of proportion. Go ahead, Wayne.
Okay, let me jump in. So I'm approach it from two standpoints. So I'm gonna approach it from the standpoint of simply what was said, who it involves. I'm gonna approach it from the standpoint of the media, so to speak. So I 100% agree with Jose. I believe, as a fan of rap, I know that rappers use their lyrics, they use their bars, they use their wordplay. A lot of them, especially guys who are cut from that cloth who call themselves lyricists, a lot of times will say certain things for shock value. I'm not a Meek fan per se. I don't hold my hat on being a Meek fan. But when I think Meek said this bar, I think he said this bar for shock value. Now, I will say this. I'll say this. I think the bar was tacky, and it was probably it was bad timing. But I don't know if the bar is malicious per se. Now, in terms of Vanessa Bryant, with her, I'm not going to say, because her husband's name was brought up in the situation, and because him dying in a helicopter crash is a touchy subject, I won't say that she's wrong for taking that lyric offensive, whether he meant it or not, because interpretation is always different, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even if she's a rap fan or not, if in regards to where I heard it from, if I see my deceased husband's name come up in a bar about going out in a chopper, that can be interpreted a certain way as a widow who my husband and my daughter died in a crash. I'm not going to dismiss her feelings on that. Now, as far as the media is concerned, this is my biggest thing. Me and Jose had a conversation about this a couple of days ago. Meek Mill put out there that he spoke with Vanessa Bryant. He apologized to Vanessa Bryant. So from my standpoint as a man, that's what men do. I did something, whether the intention was malicious or not, you took it a certain way, it offended you, I apologize. That's what men do. I offended you, or I'm sorry, right? They apparently they had this conversation, right? I think the piece with the media dragging him, I think Meek has, at this point, the best way for me to explain it, I think, again, this me not being a Meek Mill fan, I think Meek Mill sometimes becomes an easy target because of the things he says. So he says something, if Meek Mill says something controversial, 9 times out of 10, the media's going to jump on it because at this point, Meek Mill's almost become an easy target. Okay, we looking at Meek Mill through a very thick lens. We're gonna scrutinize any and everything he does. So I think the media is probably, I'm not gonna say blow it out of proportion per se, because I can't say how big it depends on the person who is subjective. But I think the media, whether it's this, whether it's the conversation we had a few weeks ago about when he was in Atlanta and gave out the money, whether it's him going back to jail, whether it's him talking about him having the rants on Clubhouse, the things
Right.
he does in the media as of late have become under high scrutiny.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the media has, regardless of what he's talking about, I think the media kind of takes it and runs with it. So I kind of think it just kind of plays into the narrative of who Meek Mill is at this point. Now, let me put this. This is something I thought about recently. Because for me, after kind of having a chance for Meek to kind of grow, and just see kind of, again, we don't know these people. Like, I don't know Meek Mill personally to know who he is. I think we all have an idea of who people are based on the character traits and the things they throw out there. So we feel like we know them to some degree. As far as I know, what Meek appears to be, I wonder to myself, I don't think Meek is a person I think Meek, at this point, I feel like Meek is just a person. I'm going to speak. I'm going to say whatever. I'm going to say what I want to say. I think that's who Meek Mill is. But with that being said, I asked myself this. I said, does good, bad, or indifferent, does Meek Mill's name getting brought up in the media, whether the media is dragging him or talking about him being a topic of discussion, does this help keep the Meek Mill brand relevant?
Definitely keeps his name relevant. You know what I'm saying? It definitely, you know what I'm saying? You know, good, what we say, good, bad publicity, you know, bad publicity, period, good or bad is good, you know, in this day and age. You know what I'm saying? I just don't like how, you know, so my premise of naming the episode A Different World, because I feel like, you know, whether the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, none of this stuff, whether you want to say nowadays things are just soft, people are just very sensitive. It can be it can be argued, but I definitely believe that. I don't feel, because think about it, and we'll talk about other controversial lyrics in our top 5 or whatever, but it's stuff way worse. I believe,
Definitely.
that people didn't, and I think just because he's Meek Mill, that these things are heightened. You know what I mean? Like, come on.
It's definitely heightened. So let me.
No.
I know this is your next. This where you're going next. So I'm just jumping in. Is Meek Mill a target?
Oh, he's definitely a target. He's definitely a target. He's been a target for a minute. Going back to back. You know what I'm saying? He's definitely. I'm always seeing Meek career. It's like it's almost like the way people have it when I look in these comments on social media, on Instagram. It's like a lot of people just want him to just like fall off, and what I'm saying, like just just be another Ja Rule, or don't never want to hear from Meek ever again. Like, I read these comments, I see it all the time, and I'm wondering, like, yo, where is this coming from? Like, did he not just drop, like, you know what I'm saying, like the championships, and you know what I mean, his last EP, which was a huge success, had some bangers on, had 4 bangers on there. So I'm like, yo, what is this coming from? He's dropping great music. You know what I'm saying? Okay, cool. He says what he says. He goes off the hip on what he says. Right. You know what I'm saying? Okay, if you want to fall in for that, whether you believe him or want to agree with him or not. Right. You know what I mean? So I think it's crazy.
Post something, Max. Let me post something.
Go ahead.
Just crossed my mind. Is Meek Mill maybe not a because I do think there's a population of people that do want to see him fail, don't want him to see him succeed. But I thought about this too, like I see a lot of people championing Meek Mill as well. So is Meek Mill more or less, is he more of a polarizing figure then? Like, this is why I see it, like from 9 times out of 10, most people I see either a Meek Mill supporter, like I champion Meek Mill, like that's my guy, I ride for him, or they're the complete opposite, like I want to see this, I want to see this man.
You talking about them day one
there's
fans.
There's very few people I find in my boat when it comes to Meek Mill. I'm kind of indifferent. I'm kind of like, well, I like his music, good, bad, and different. Like if he do something I don't agree with, I call him out. If he's making good music, I'm like, oh, I like it. So I'm one of the people I know that is kind of in the middle with Meek Mill. But I notice a lot of people are either like super Meek Mill supporters or super Meek Mill haters, typically. So he's to me a very polarizing figure. And the reason I say that is, like when stuff like this happens, or the incident in Atlanta, you see a lot of people going in on him, right? But then at the same time, when he was locked up again, like on some bull, like people, like a lot of people came and rallied to his support, and I saw a lot of people get behind prison reform. I saw a lot of people like champion, like bring Meek home. I saw a lot of people streaming the documentary. So there was at that time, it was this big influx of Meek love, right? And then when championships came out, it was like this big support. It's like either or, I seem like, when it comes to Meek.
Yeah, like what's up with that? And I just think that explains just how fair weather fans are, because I you know what I'm saying? I guess it seems like whatever the trend is, like you say, like reform, the time where it was back to back. You know what I'm saying? If it's cool to hate on Meek for whatever the situation is, or to rally behind him, I think that's what a lot of people are doing. I'm not talking about the day one guys. I think more so.
Day one people are going to support him.
The point you were making before, like those day one, like when he had the braids, rapping on the corner. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like they're not going anywhere. You know what I'm saying? Guys like myself, like, you know what I mean? Like, that's going, right at, I'm gonna admit if Meek wrong. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna admit Meek, I ain't really feeling that. You know what I'm saying? I'm a fan. I'm a day one guy. But at the same time, it's like I see the fickle, you know what I mean? I'm seeing where fans are kind of like rally on the fence. Like, it's just cool to hate on Meek. If we reform, Meek Mandela, saying all this crazy stuff. I just don't understand. Like,
That's real. That's real.
No, I do want to say this right here. I think that when it comes to people saying whatever things they want to say about Meek, it's a lot of inconsistencies.
Right.
And what I mean by that is, say for example, when people were talking about how Meek Mill was disrespectful, it's like Meek Mill fans or rap fans were saying like, "Hey, this is like a double entendre. This is what it means." People were like, "Yo, I don't basically give a fuck, right?" So then you got another artist, right? And I'm not trying to throw this artist under the bus, but you got Pooh Shiesty that basically said in the bar that on the album they just came out with, saying, "I'll send you to meet Kobe in heaven," right?
Right.
Which is obviously disrespectful, right? I never seen Vanessa Bryant. She never posted anything about that, right? I never seen that. He was on the Breakfast Club. They never mentioned anything about that, and I'm pretty sure they listened to his whole project. He
Yeah,
was with a
picking and
wild,
choosing
so he was
culture.
with Gilly the Kid. So it's like when you mention that to people, people would be like, "Well, I don't really care about this," right? So it's like, okay, so now it's like you're showing inconsistencies. Also, when Meek was in Atlanta, right? Everybody was saying like, "Oh, Meek, he got all this cash, you know, he got all these juries on, he drive this car, right?" He's in the clubhouse. Come to find out, Meek was like, "I didn't have cash on me. I had a black card." He's explaining to people like, "Hey, when we have these cash, we got to have security around us to make sure that we don't get robbed or nothing serious happen. We just going in. This is for show. We just going in to show you guys to paint the image in the picture, and we going back and putting that back in the bank because we official and we business people." Instead of people like apologizing or saying, "You know what, I was wrong," people were still saying like, "Well, he should have turned around, he should have went to the bank and turned around." It's like it's inconsistencies. It's
It's
like
definitely
with other
inconsistent.
people that do this, they don't tell like these Republicans, "Hey, you need to turn around and go back to get these people print." No, they get these people passes. There's other athletes, there's other entertainers as well that they just worry about themselves and nobody says nothing. But for some reason, people always have something negative to say about Meek. Even with Meek doing the situation with the criminal justice reform, when I'm looking at Meek when he's doing this, right, I'm not looking at Meek like, oh, he's about to turn into like a criminal like prosecutor. No, he's using his experiences and his platform to bring light to people that are in jail unjustly, and then
Right.
also people that should have served their time already. Hold on, I got
No, I
one
just
more
want to
comment real
piggyback
quick.
you. I just want to
Go
piggyback
ahead,
you.
go ahead, go ahead.
No, I want to. You keep going, but think about like so. Meek is doing all these things with reform, and you know, because he posts. If you look at his lives, he's talking to these governors, you know, senators. Matter of fact, he did a live not too long ago with somebody in position. But I want you to finish your point. But remember that instance where, you know, the city was going. They said Meek couldn't come to the city or something like that. Like, yo, this dude is on some reform, but he can't come back to the city. Like, make it make sense. Go ahead, Kurt. My bad. But make it make sense.
No, it's fine, man. And I appreciate you. You know what I'm saying, highlighting what you just highlighted too. But what I mean to say is, you got a black man, right, that was falsely, like, well, not falsely, but he was put like when he originally went to court, right? Like the judge, not the judge, but the police officers, they lied on him, right? So apparently his probation was like unjust, right? And he had to go through
Right.
all this situation just to get it correct, right? So he wants to use his experiences to help out other people. I really hate how the media and public opinion they try to crucify him and say like, "Oh, this is Meek Mandela, right? Meek's not living the life that he should be living." It's like, how do you get mad at another black man for getting black men out of jail? I don't
Right.
understand that. He's doing something positive. They're like, "Oh, well, Meek Mill should be acting this way." So what is he doing? Like, I literally had a conversation with somebody,
Yeah.
and it was just indifferences. Like, I respect his opinion, and I'm pretty sure he respect mine, but it's like he was saying that Meek Mill was speaking about no snitching when it came to Takashi. I don't feel that he was speaking out about no snitching. I just felt that he just basically addressed the Takashi situation and saying like, "Hey, this guy was involved in a criminal like enterprise. He was involved in the gang. Like he was actually making like selling drugs. He knew about the hits on the people and all. And people feel sorry for like Takashi. So he's basically just highlighting that, but he's not going around telling people like not to snitch. Like if you see something, like we saw somebody's grandmother get killed, I'm pretty sure I hope that you would go do what you got to do to make sure you
Yeah.
keep your community safe. But he's not spreading the narrative, but people find things just to say that I don't like. Instead of just saying I don't like Meek Mill, they're just trying to like find pick or whatever they want to
Right.
pick just to justify that.
Yeah, let me touch on let's touch on that situation, that Tekashi Meek situation. What do you think about that, Wayne?
Y'all know I always start my statement by saying I'm not a Meek Mill fan per se, but again, I don't dislike Meek Mill. I don't rock with Tekashi. That's not.
Yeah, but that boy a rat straight up. I don't rock with him, bro.
That's
100%, bro.
For me though. That holds no weight for me because y'all know my stance. I'm a tell on you anyway.
Come on, Wayne. Come on.
Wayne, it's a million people watching right now.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you. Look, with everybody watching,
don't
do nothing.
Don't
do nothing around me.
The S, what you say? You the double S's? What you say the other day?
Hey,
no, Wayne, we ain't gonna do you like that. We gonna edit this.
Sorry, nigga.
No, this is Facebook Live, but this ain't getting edited out. So y'all hear that right? Wayne said you do something while Wayne, and they come to Wayne, you gonna tell them y'all.
Hold on, what's the other S? What's the other S you said?
Sorry, nigga, I'm trying to come home.
No, you said it was like a double S. You said I'm a snitch, and I said anyway. But nah, like that whole.
I don't rock with Tekashi. He's a character, man. He's not real.
Yeah, he's not even a real
person.
You're right. This boy
up here using Pooh Shiesty lyrics like when you up here trying to like
that situation was crazy.
And you know what? Another thing I really dislike how people are saying that Meek Mill should have did something right. It would have been crazy if Meek Mill would have smacked the shit out of him right and then went right back to jail.
I'm glad you said that.
It would have been crazy.
I'm glad you said
all the shit Jay did. You gotta think the owner of the Philadelphia 76ers, Robert Kraft, all the prosecutors, everything they did, that shit would have been vain. Meek was smart. Like, I ain't no dummy. I'm not no crash dummy. I'm not gonna go to jail because you want to start altercation. I ain't gonna do that, but go ahead.
A different world. Yo, the social media was looking at Meek like he was like, you know what I mean? Like, yo, Meek should have did this. Meek should have did that. Like, are you serious? Like, he's supposed to jeopardize his freedom just to prove a point online? Are you kidding me? That's what I'm saying. What's going on out here? Like,
do you feel that Meek should have did something or what?
Listen,
like, what would he have done?
This is what I say about everybody Tekashi. Anybody, when it comes to Tekashi, I tell everybody, like, why are we following
crazy?
Like, why are we following this dude up? Like everybody who follows, anybody, if Tekashi says anything and somebody responds to him, in my head, I'm like, why are you even bothering? I respect Meek Mill for his stance. Like, we ain't dealing with that.
Yeah, he pulled up on me. So he supposedly had pulled up on me. So what's up with this thing where rappers can't have security? Like, I don't understand that. All these rappers getting killed. So Tekashi said, man, you got security too.
False narrative.
Like, yo, these boys is really getting knocked off. But see how toxic, see how like detrimental, see how much of a culture vulture Tekashi said is? He talking about, so yo, you got security too. Yo, rappers is getting done down. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, yo, what's really going on? Like, I don't understand.
It's crazy, bro.
You know. But to Meek's case, I just wish Meek I just hope Meek will understand like what he's really up against. You know what I'm saying? Like how, can't please everybody, continue to do him and, continue to move in the right direction, man. Like, cause it's crazy,
You know that.
But yeah, we're gonna switch it. Talk about your guy, Cam Newton.
Another controversial topic.
And you know what's crazy about that? The dude, the kid, is from Philadelphia also.
Hey, little dude is from Philly. I saw that.
He from Philly too.
What's little dude's name? I forget his name.
I forget his name too. But go ahead, Wayne. What you think about that Cam situation? Did he handle it the right way? Or?
Really, I guess I paint the picture for those who don't know what happened. So, Cam was at a 7-on-7 was it an All-Star game, some type of
tournament.
And one of the kids on one of the teams got into it with Cam, and the video went viral. So, essentially, the little dude, high school kid, was calling Cam. I don't want to misquote the kid, but I clearly heard him call Cam a bum. He insinuated that Cam, because he's a free agent, I think he insinuated Cam was washed up, like, oh, you're not in the league because you're a free agent. But the way I took it, as a high school athlete who plays football, you're at a football camp and you have a all-pro. Number one, let's start there. An all-pro NFL quarterback, number one. So this guy has shown success at the highest level of his sport. You're disrespecting somebody who just wrapped their season. Like, I legit just finished up a season in the NFL. Like, I'm a free agent. I'm negotiating contracts right now. Like, I could be anywhere next year, right? That's number one. But then on top of that, the NFL MVP, plays former MVP, multiple time All-Pro, top 5 passing yards for black quarterback, one of the top 5 passing yards for black quarterback all time. Listen, Heisman winner, has performed at every level.
National championship in college.
Multiple national championships. Has a national championship on multiple teams in NCAA. Has a national championship with Florida and Auburn. A Heisman Trophy win. JUCO national title.
Oh man!
Like, this man has won at every level, like high school, junior college, multiple college programs, and for a high school athlete who's aspiring, I would imagine, to one day be in a situation where I could play in the NFL, it comes off very disrespectful for you to be. It's a difference between competitive banter, we going back and forth, we joning, to borderline disrespect. Like, okay, you pulling my card now.
He's out of line completely.
I will say this: I think Cam handled it very well.
Yeah, I think so too.
He didn't get rattled. He didn't use profanity. He addressed the kid directly. Well, he addressed the kid. Well, let me not say, when I say address, he looked his direction and tried to see what was going on. And when the kid went too far, quote unquote, Cam asked, "Where's your father? Like, in other words, where your parents at?" And Cam made a really good clarification when he cleaned it up. He cleaned up and said, "When I asked where his father was, I wasn't being disrespectful as to say, I don't believe you don't have a father. I'm saying, where's your daddy at, in terms of, you're a child, I'm a man, so let me address the men or whoever's raising you. I'm going to address the adults to figure out what's going on." Yeah. So I 100%, I commend Cam's response to it.
Yeah, and another thing too, because when Cam, if you've seen the video, the other video, right? Because there was a second video that came out after that, where, you know, Cam went to the kid and say, "Hey, so, you know, what did you do today? Like, I just want to talk to you. Like, you know, I'm not trying to disrespect you. We're not going back and forth. I just want to know, okay, so, you know, the platform, so the attention's on you now. What did you do today?" He just said, what the kid say? He said, you know, check my YouTube or something like that. Like, what? He kept acting like, so what did you do? Like, you know, the kid did not, you know, he didn't have a good answer. He's just like, man, check my YouTube. Still bad braggadocious, still prideful. You know what I'm saying? It's like, bro, like, you know, so I understand why Cam was like, yo, let me talk to your dad. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I would say it's true though. I think it was definitely a teachable moment, because I feel like Cam could have easily, and I think a lot of times people would say, well, Cam should have just walked away. But I think Cam took an opportunity to educate a young black brother that looks like us.
Right.
Cam could have Cam could have done a lot of things. He could have walked away. He could have ignored him. Cam could have got disrespectful back. But instead, Cam decided, okay, let's have a conversation and see.
Yeah, let's have a conversation.
What's the root of this? and bringing light to it. So I can't be mad at it.
Yeah, and think another thing too, like college coaches, you know what I'm saying, will this, hurt this young man's, future? Because, I'm sure college coaches going to be looking at this like, okay, who is this guy?
You a team
like, nah, I can't, this, no matter how good or, how good he may be, but that's a turnoff because is he coachable? You know what I'm saying? It's just a bad look for him. He did come out with an apology, but still, man, this isn't a good look, man.
Do you believe the apology is legit, or is he apologizing to save face at this point because he know what it does for him?
It's definitely to save face. You know what I'm saying? I think it's to save face. You know what I mean? Like, why? Because think about why are you going at arguably a Hall of Famer like that? Like you going in like he playing. He's not like the guys. You're going back and forth with a guy that's already. When Cam said he's rich. At first when Cam said he was rich, I'm like, okay, like what I mean? He's Cam Newton, like you know what I mean?
I think that's like, why you're trying to get to where I am. Like I'm at the finish line. You're trying to. I'm trying to help. And the thing about
why are you
I'm trying to help you.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what do you what you think, Jose?
I think Cam did an exceptional job as far as like how he handled the situation. Like Wayne said, he didn't let it get rattled. Like I didn't see like Cam get like angry. It looked like Cam just wanted to like know what was going on. And like when he asked about his father, like I just felt like at that point Cam didn't want to be disrespectful. He would just rather speak with the parents about the kid being disrespectful. And then like, when it was a situation when they showed the other scene where he was talking to the kid, like he was letting the kid know, like, what did you do today? You see what I'm saying? And letting the kid know, like, you got a long way to go. Like, you here and like you ain't even made it to the pros. So like you gonna have to like you're gonna have to do a lot in order to get to that next level. You can't be playing around. You can't be joking around. Like I've already made it, so you should be looking at me to figure out what I did, and you should be like taking notes so you can get to the next level. You see what I'm saying? I don't think the kid realized maybe till like social media started probably getting on him. And that's where he shared that apology. Also, the coach was gonna get involved in the situation, and Cam told the coach no. Cam said no. They between the Cam was like, this is a learning situation. I want him to learn. You know what I'm saying? So it was other people that could have intervened, and they probably could have stopped it. But Cam was like, no, he came at me like I'm gonna teach him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So he can learn. So.
Yeah, no. Definitely.
Go ahead, Matt.
Go ahead. Wayne.
I think I just thought of this now. Like I think I like the way Cam addressed it in terms of like addressing either his father or his parents, right? But I think that goes to show Cam's upbringing too. A lot of people don't speak about Cam and his family dynamic. He had a super active father in his life in terms of how he carried himself. So I think that speaks a lot to his disposition with the young man as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's another, message, like, as far as the youth, man, to just be respectful of guys who accomplish things. Like, just because you're up and coming, you're trying to get to that point, you don't have to be disrespectful, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you pay homage, you know what I'm saying? Stay humble, man. You'll get there one day. Keep working hard, you know what I'm saying? I think that's the message for the youth, man, is to stay in your lane. You know what I'm saying?
I think the biggest thing, too, because, listen, I always tell people, like, it's a fine line. Like, and I think we need to be very careful and to the total line to make sure understand where you stand that line, because there's a very thin line between. Because humble's thrown out there a lot, and you can follow on either side of that. So, and because that's a personality thing. Some people are humble. Some people are very cool. I'm gonna let my work speak for itself. And some people revel on. Oh, I'm gonna talk. I'm gonna run my mouth. I'm gonna do my thing, and that it works for them. I think it's a fine line though to understand the difference between you being confident and you being braggadocious and you being competitive versus you being disrespectful and an asshole.
But I'm gonna pose this though. But say, because think about it. Like, if this guy, like, think about a guy that's hungry. Like, am I coming at Cam, or if I'm trying to stalk him down so I can get as much knowledge as I can, because I'm trying to get to where he's at. See what I'm saying? Like, on the other hand, you talking about, Cam is washed up. But I'm sure it's a young kid like, yo, that's Cam Newton. I'm about to go soak up some game. Like I'm about to soak up some knowledge so I can get to where he's at.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the issue too. You're not, because at this point you're not even talking about what you're doing. You're talking about you throwing a narrative on somebody else.
Right.
You're trying to interpret what I'm doing right now.
Right. And you know the funny part? He'll be from Philadelphia, right? And I'm on Cam page. And I'm seeing some of the guys that I know I commented. He was like, yo, he said he's from the 215. And people from Philly in the comments like, yo, why he had to put that in there?
Why he wants to
like he made Philly look bad. Like
the whole city look bad.
That's the show. Like, yo, is this the mentality? Well, I'm not just gonna single out Philly, but
you let the whole city down.
You know what I'm saying? Like the whole city down. Like, bro, what are you talking about? And just like I give that example, like you might take another kid, just like, yo, I'm about to, man, this Cam Newton, man, I'm trying to get to where he going. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, hopefully the young kid can bounce back.
I'm just about to say, man, I think that's the biggest takeaway. I'm gonna say, just because I know he a youngin, like, because we've all known that kid at
right
15, 16, 17. We thought they had it figured out. I feel like I'm on top of the world. I'm that guy. I sincerely hope he takes this situation and good, bad, or indifferent, and take something positive away from it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, without a doubt. What y'all think? What's next for Cam? Cam's career though.
I would say this. It's not. I don't think Cam had a season. I don't think Cam had the season he wanted to have. I think COVID set him back. Like him being diagnosed with COVID, missing that time. I think that kind of, because really early on in the season he looked pretty good.
Yeah, early on he looked
like he was back to himself.
Yeah.
But then like the COVID diagnosis, and then he went down for how many games he missed? 2, 3. Anyway, I can't remember the number of games, but he missed a few games due to COVID. And when they came back, the Patriots weren't quite performing, where they were when they first started the season. From a playing perspective, health-wise, Cam looked good. He looked healthy. He looked like he was in shape. He seemed to handle the offense pretty well, considering he was in a new offense. And it's been a very different offense for that. So I think, to be honest, I think Cam going into negotiations this year is probably in a better spot than he was the previous year. Because at least with the previous year, you're coming off an injury, is a little bit unknown. I don't think there's an issue of – I don't think his health is an issue going into negotiation this go round, this offseason. So, I mean, I'm very positive for Cam. I'm hopeful. I would kind of like to see him re-sign with New England.
Pass. Yeah.
I would say
what
for
think,
Cam,
Jose?
man, I don't think it was a fair opportunity, and I don't mean like as far as like with the team. I just mean like for the year. You know what I'm saying? As far as like COVID, COVID messed it up. So it was first of all, they lost Tom Brady, so it was a rebuilding year for the Patriots.
No preseason.
Also, you also got to think like with the receivers that they had, the best receiver they had was Julian Edelman. That was it. And Julian Edelman is like a slot receiver, so he's not like I wouldn't consider him like a top tier receiver. I just think Julian Edelman is a guy that could get the job done. He can get yards, but he's not a top like wide receiver in my personal opinion. And then you had defensive players that opted out too. You see what I'm saying? So it was like their defense really wasn't that good, so they was giving up points on the defense. On offense, they had players that opted out too on the offensive line. Their best receiver was Julius Edelman, and then COVID just messed things up as well. So hopefully he'll get a better opportunity, a better shot to show his leadership and show that he still has the ability to lead and win games. So.
Right.
Yeah, definitely, man. I just want Cam to end up, in his career on a good note, whether he's starting or backing up. I really want him to vie for that Hall of Fame spot, man. I think that's, as he, going through that time of his career is on a downward spiral. On the I Am Athlete podcast, he was like, man, he feels strong as being a starter. And I like that confidence.
Right.
But, the reality of it, will he get that starting spot? You know what I mean? That remains to be the question. Like I said, I just want, Cam to end up on a good note, hopefully in the Hall of Fame. So I wanted to do something, right? change the false narrative. We talked about the false narrative. I kind of want to put Cam.
Mm-hmm.
So what would be a false narrative for Cam Newton?
Concerning Cam?
Huh?
What will be a false narrative concerning Cam?
Yeah, we're gonna switch it up. I wanna do that.
Let me jump in. Let me tackle this one.
Go ahead.
Because two things come to mind when I think about Cam in terms of false narrative. I think one, I think he's disproven already, and I think he's not only for himself but for quarterbacks as a whole. That's being a play option system won't work in the NFL. Like we heard that time and time again. Cam Newton coming into the league, people saying a play option offense run by a quarterback will not work in the NFL. And I think because of Cam's success, I think when I think about black quarterbacks specifically, I think about there's almost like it's generational. So you have different guys and you see different things that are almost passed down to the next great black quarterback. So you had guys like Warren Moon, who were able to play, have an arm, who are mobile. You had guys like Randall Cunningham back in the day who were mobile, the Doug Williams, those cats. But at the same time, outside of Warren Moon, a lot of those guys were just looked at, that they're athletic, they have speed. They try to minimize their quarterback skills, right? And then I would say the next generation, right. Like you look at people like Dante Culpepper and the Donovan McNabbs and the Michael Vicks. You see these guys. You start to see, okay, now we're seeing more pocket presence. We're seeing a strong arm. We're seeing more We're seeing more skill, quote unquote, and how the commentators like to say it. We're seeing more skilled things from these guys, right? Mm-hmm. So you see it pass down to these guys. And then I say you look at the younger generation, but when we look at now, the current black quarterbacks, you have guys like Cam, you had the Deshaun Watsons, you had the Russell Wilsons, the Patrick Mahomes, the Lamar Jackson, and you still see the conversation being had, especially when it comes to Lamar Jackson. Those guys like, can they do it without getting out of the pocket? Can they do it in the pocket? So I think Cam, it kind of opens up the opportunity for, when I say the next generation, the Deshaun Watsons, the Lamar Jacksons, the Patrick Mahomes, because Cam was able to be, really, I haven't seen anybody like Cam in the position, because it's rare to see somebody who can get out of the pocket, who can move the way he moved, who still has the size and can lower the shoulder and run through you if he needs it.
Yeah.
I think, in my opinion, if Cam hung it up today with the numbers and the success he was able to have in a system like Carolina, that wasn't, in my opinion, that wasn't super talented outside of Cam per se. We had some really strong points on defense at times, but in terms of superstar potential, he wasn't working with a whole lot there, really. And for what he was able to do there, and the numbers he was able to attribute over the time, going to the Super Bowl, becoming MVP, collecting the mass rushing yards, the mass passing yards, and to do that for the time he was there, and to stay healthy for the majority of it, I would have to put him in the Hall of Fame. I look at those numbers, because if you look at the numbers, just the numbers on paper, like he's passed over a lot of these guys we've called great in the past. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So the numbers are there currently. And that's not even to speak on if he plays another 2, 3, 4 years. You know
top 5 black quarterback.
He was on my list when we did it before.
Top 10, top 5, top 10.
I think Cam, I think he gets a lot of flack because he's not, quote unquote, the traditional quarterback, because he's not as quiet as quarterbacks are perceived to be, because he gets in the end zone and celebrates, because he's unapologetic. Well, I like to say he's unapologetically black. Like, you see Cam Newton play, when you see him play quarterback, I see what I see when I see a lot of young black kids playing football for the first time. You see people that just love to play the game. Like, it is a job, but when I see Cam Newton play football, I see a guy who loves to play football. Regardless of level, regardless of how much I get paid to do it. I love the sport, and I love.
Yeah,
it's fire there.
Yeah, it is, because I just seen him post something. You know, you know, he right back at it in the weight room. You know what I'm saying, man? I can't, you know, all the injuries, man. I can't say, you know, when it's all said and done, man, Cam, he definitely gets my respect, man. And
I think
you know what I mean?
false narrative. So I think the false narrative for Cam. I think like the false narrative was he's this
Right.
He's
This diva.
I think they use the word black quarterback. I think that as much as I love black quarterbacks, I think they use the term black quarterback to say, oh, he's a black quarterback. He's good, but he's not a regular. He's not a regular.
Right. So should we get away from that?
He kind of broke that.
So are you saying we should get away from that term, the black quarterback term?
I think it's one thing. It's almost like the conversation with the N-word, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, as a person for that community, I could talk about somebody who looks like me and say, okay, he's a black quarterback. That's my dude right there. That's my brother. But when somebody outside our community says it almost comes off as, oh, he's a black quarterback. He's a black quarterback, as if you put in a filler, like, oh, he's a black quarterback. It's almost like when somebody said, going to school, like, oh, like he's so Dwayne is so smart. He's smart.
He's smart. He's black, but he's smart too. He's black, but he's smart. You know, like he's smart, but he's black.
It's like a microaggression. You're like, okay, like what's the underlying tone when you say this?
Yeah.
So I think that's one false narrative I think about. But I think the other false narrative is, I think a lot of times Cam Newton's name is almost met with this almost like this air of like he's problematic almost.
Yeah, like that. Like that's what I'm saying. Like a diva. Like he has this, you know, because he might dress boastfully,
right?
Or he may, you know, have this confidence when he goes to the you know the after the game and you know talking to, you know, he has this braggadocious thing about him, loud with his clothes, and you know I think that's kind of like, and that gives off that you know he rubs people the wrong way type of, you know what I'm saying? So
I think he's definitely I think he's a polarized. He's also a polarizing figure.
Yeah, also polarized.
Cats who love him, you have cats who hate him.
Yeah, but you know what? It's interesting because you see how those polarized figures always get like kind of they don't. It's like the love-hate type thing. You know, you hate them. You love them when they're doing good, but when you hate them, everybody's against them type of thing. Like, you know what I mean?
You know, it's unique, though. You know, I guess it's unique we're talking about today. I think the parallels between Meek and the parallel between Meek and Cam, like
that's interesting, right?
They're both definitely polarizing, but they both kind of operate out of almost like an underdog. Like even though it's as successful as they are, they operate on this with this underdog mentality almost. Like, I'm out here to prove it all wrong. Every time.
Polarizing figures, yeah. You know, yeah. I wondered. I thought about should we have did like the top 5 controversial lyrics in the Meek segment? That'd have been perfect to do it in, you know. But we could still, you know, we definitely could still. I know you say we could just throw them out.
It's all flowing together.
Throw them out there.
Is it ready for the top 5?
That's a good segue, though.
That's a good segue.
Unless you just want to throw out some, because it's a lot out there. You know, before the show, we were just there.
We'll jump right into it. So, since we were talking about Meek Mill earlier and his controversial lyric that just came out, we had a conversation amongst ourselves a few days ago about just the idea of controversial lyrics and just the nature of rap. It came up, so we started thinking about other controversial lyrics that were coming out. So we decided we tried to compile a top 5 list of top 5 controversial lyrics. When we actually did the research, it was a little more difficult.
Yo, hold on, yo! I just saw something. Big L is on the list.
Okay.
Big L.
I'm gonna throw the one I thought about, the one that came to mind when I thought to myself, the person I thought, and I think I'm gonna share mine because some of the stuff Matt shared, I'm like, okay, this is extremely. So the person who came to mind the most, it's the person I'm a fan of, so I'm probably most familiar with his body of work and his lyrics on that level. Definitely shot very Big.
Yeah.
So Big, Big what's my joint? He has a line where he says something along the lines of "She's so fine, I'll suck her daddy dick." I just remember the first time I heard that, I was like, yo, the fact that a male rapper,
what?
can say that line confidently and no one questions it.
Imagine if Big said that nowadays.
You know what?
A different world,
That's
man.
the crazy part, right?
What's up?
Like Big's persona, like he bred confidence. Like that was just like his MO. Like I'm that confident of a lyricist.
He said it in the '90s too. Like
confident of the MC, and my lyrics are so strong. It don't matter what I say, you ain't gonna question it because I'm that nice. So the fact that he can, I've heard people say it like, "Yo, I've heard people have a conversation about. I don't know if anybody else could have said that line and got it all."
Yo, but did anybody really come at Big for saying that though?
They did. Nobody called him on it. Nothing.
But what if he says that now though?
I think that goes along with who Big is. I think Big is such a shock value MC, and he's such a strong lyricist. I feel like, and he has that much respect, and because he breathes, like his aura says confidence.
Like,
look, think about it. It don't even match what he looked like per se, but his aura, his aura says confidence. Like that dude, like, oh yeah, like you walk in a room like, he's not here, but I just imagine you walk into a room and Big is there. It's like. And no pun intended, like he's the biggest person in the room. Like he's like the biggest person in the room.
Yeah.
And think about it, right? Notorious B.I.G. is able to stand beside Puff and not be outshined. Now think about the type of personality you had to have to stand beside Puff and to be and be the guy. As flashy as Puff is.
Okay. And how I'm about to say something. I'm about to say how I don't need that. I'm not gonna say that. But Kurt, what you got over there, Kurt?
I mean, I would say because the ones I had. Apparently, I'm gonna just throw those away. But one that I'll always remember is Biggie on the commission. You see what I'm saying? Where he was like, "I'm barred from the pearly gates. Fuck them. I didn't want to go to heaven anyway." And then he's talking about the Virgin Mary. He was like, "Hail Mary. I want to screw her, dump a body in the sewer." That's very, very disrespectful, like to like the Catholic religion for sure. Like if I shared that with anybody that was of the Catholic religion or somebody that was religious, they would probably say that Biggie was the devil. I remember hearing this like when I was like a teenager, and like I thought it was like bad, but then I was like, well, I don't know what type of like mindset Biggie was in or whatever. But I'm like,
he's possessed.
I don't know what type of I don't know what type of mindset like he was in to make him write those type of bars or anything. But I just took it for hip hop, and I just kept it as hip hop. Like I ain't like judge him personally, like off of those lyrics. You know what I'm saying? So. What about you, though, Matt?
That made me think another line.
Listen, you know what? Can you share the one?
Hold on, wait. What you about to say? Because I know Rick Ross. is on this list a few times.
That made me think about another line. What was it?
Go ahead.
What was it, Rick? What's the line?
I got a few, man.
I don't want to go to hell. You remember that?
What?
He was like, I don't want to go to heaven. I'd rather go to hell.
Oh, Biggie, right?
He's like, I don't want to be with the good.
I'm barred from the pearly gates.
Big.
Fuck him. I didn't want to go to heaven anyway.
Controversial joints.
Like, but you know what? Big talked about that a lot. Big talked about going big. Listen, on multiple records.
Did Big just want to go to heaven?
But that's all. Big reference on multiple records about not wanting to go to heaven.
That's interesting. That's very interesting. Yo, he did. Like, it was like hell was his thing. Like, that's crazy. But yeah, Rick Ross. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Oh,
I was gonna say it because I know Rick Ross is on that list a few times with his controversial lyrics.
Ross got to you.
Wayne with the Emmett Till line, but the one that sticks out for me. The one that sticks out for me is from our favorite artist. Guess who?
Your favorite artist?
Iggy Azalea. right?
Say
Our
it.
great ebony white queen.
Not the
She
way.
got some cheeks. She got some cheeks too.
She says,
I'm trying to save her.
oh, she says, when the relay starts, I'm a runaway slave master. What does she mean by that?
Number one. Has anybody ever heard of Iggy Azalea's song "Outside of Fancy"?
You gotta ask the Iggy is, the
Can
diehard Iggy Azalea.
Can your rap bar be controversial if no one's ever heard it?
But that's controversial, Wayne. That's controversial, right? Wayne disappeared.
Yo, hold on, I'm not done. Yo, hold on, I'm not done. Your man, Childish Gambino.
I was shocked by this.
Your man, Childish Gambino, Wayne.
That's my guy.
That's your guy. Do you know what he?
Tell me what he said. I'm shocked.
He said, "I got a girl on my arm. You should show respect. Something crazy and Asian. Virginia Tech." Yeah, man. Yeah, man. What are some other ones though?
Ross, I gotta pull a Ross. Y'all know I love not advocating for women, so I have a hard time when I hear something about it.
Your man Ross was going there. He goes in on women.
Ross on Rocco's "You Don't Even Know" remix. He says, "I put a mile in her champagne. She didn't even know it. I took her home and enjoyed that. She didn't even know it." Rick Ross is literally recognized.
Yo, but that was before. That was before this era. A different world. It goes back to it.
I put a Molly in her champagne. She didn't know it. I took her home and enjoyed that. She didn't know it. Rick Ross is rapping about having sex with an unconscious woman after he drugged her.
I know. So what if you say that now?
Oh, you know what?
What if he says that now?
I found another Biggie verse. That's
oh my God. Yo, what's up with Biggie though? Like in these verses.
Another controversial. You ready?
Go ahead.
Verse 1. Rape your kid, throw her over the bridge. Back then it was nothing. It was just hip hop. Damn. Rape your kid, throw her over the bridge.
You know what's crazy? Like when I look at this list, it's a lot of rapings going on.
There's a lot of rape and rap.
It's a lot of rape and rap.
It's a lot of rape.
A lot of rape and rap, bro. But yeah. Any final thoughts, guys? We're gonna wrap this thing up. Any final thoughts? But that was a good. I will say this though, Wayne, you did say something good as far as the correlation between Cam Newton and Meek. You know what I'm saying? I thought that was, I didn't even think about that. Two guys, two other dogs.
Listen, I gotta say this. I just found one.
They found another
one? Okay.
Cameron.
I'm about to start listening to
that. Cameron will kill him 2005. Cameron says, and I quote, "I'll rape your child and they won't make the trial."
What?
Yo, hold on. DMX says something.
Oh man, no, the DMX bar. Oh my God.
Yeah.
The DMX bar. Hold on, I'm about to bring it up before we close out. Before we close out.
And Wayne, this was on What's the Game Been Missing.
Hold on, yo.
So how did we miss
that? Because you got caught up in how great the production was. That's what that was.
The pink furs.
Hey yo, so DMX says this. He says, if you got a daughter older than 15, I'ma rape her. Take her on the living room floor right there in front of you. Then ask you seriously what you want to do. Now, this is my thing right here. Can we give these guys some leeway? They were high and intoxicated on.
There's so many layers there. Listen, but this is my thing though. Even if X was high, was the engineer high? Was the producer high?
Like, yeah,
Was
like the Yes Men,
executive
whether
high?
the Yes Men high.
How many edits did this record had to go through
Right. Were the Yes Men high?
to come out?
You know what I'm saying? Like, were they high? Like, you know, his crew, like,
Oh,
you know what
man.
I'm saying? Like, how did y'all let this go? Where y'all just like, yo, X is just in his own world. Biggie, you know, Biggie was just crazy. You know,
Hey, you know,
these are the cash
like,
cows.
somebody
What can you
was
say?
somebody was in the room with him when they wrote that. They like, yo, how that sound? That's hot. That hot. That shit dope. I'm like, yo, that joint's crazy, yo.
Yeah, man.
Controversial lyrics. It's the world.
Yeah, man. Good topics, guys. Good topics. Good show. A different world, man. Just shows you a different world we live in these days. That's the
different world.
You know.
Oh, shameless plug.
Shameless plugs. What's going on, you guys? What's going on? What you got going on? I know. Listen, hold on. Before you go to the shameless plug, you know, I had the opportunity to go over Jose's Big Jose, whatever you want to call him, career. So, but I'm gonna let you go ahead and talk about what you got going on. I ain't gonna say nothing. I mean, so for what I heard some good stuff. I mean, I'm gonna just say that I heard some good material. You know, some exclusives. You know,
I really appreciate that, man. Right now I'm just in the final stages of finally trying to hopefully. I ain't gonna say hopefully. I'm gonna be optimistic. I'm in the final stages of completing the actual project. What me and Max, you know, and my other friend Daryl, you know, they came through. We had like a little mini writing session, you know, last Sunday. I had some beats picked out already, and I had like some titles. I shared the beats and the titles with them to think of, like, you know, ask them their opinion. I came up with these titles and these songs because I felt like it was certain elements that were missing from like my project. So my project is called Becoming Legendary 2, Dreams Never Die. And so like the songs that I have, some of them are great, but it only shows like the good aspects of like the things that happen. And it just shows like my background, but it doesn't show like any of like the bad things that I had to go through that almost made me quit rap. So it's like I wanted to make sure I had those type of records on there too. That way people can have like a real depiction of like what it took for me to get this project complete, why it took so long for me to do it. It's like a journey that they can go from like top to bottom to where they can, like, when they finish completing the project or listening to it, they'll have a clear understanding of like what it took and what I had to sacrifice just to get to completing the actual project. So,
cool. Wayne, what you got going on, brother?
You can catch me every Monday, Jokes at the Joint at 1710 Main Street at the Joint, Columbia, South Carolina. Just hosted my first show there last Monday, but we're there every Monday, open mic. If you're a local comic, even if you're a traveling comic, come out. If you're in Columbia area, come out on Monday. Sign up at 7:30. Show starts at 8. Every Monday we're there show goes from about 8 to 10. Just confirmed the show in April in Columbia at the Gold Den. Doing a lot of traveling. Gonna have my first show in my hometown. Shout out to Darlington, South Carolina. Doing a guest spot March 11th, Darlington, South Carolina at Carolina Nightlife. Catch me out there if you're local. To all my local homies. We'll be in Charleston on March 23rd on Sullivan's. Well, not Charleston, Sullivan's Island. Let me not disrespect Sullivan's Island. We'll be in Sullivan's Island on March 23rd. So we're doing some moving and shaking.
Man, you better go on the world tour soon, man. You better get it, Wayne.
Take over the world. The world.
You sound like Dame Dash right there a little bit.
He definitely said like Dame.
That's some Dame Dash vibes right there, bro.
Also shout out today. As we're recording at the day of recording, Chiz actually completed a workshop on the history of Black comedy in America.
Okay.
Laughing While Black, coming to a workshop near you. Check me out.
That's dope. This is dope, man. Shout out to you, Wayne. Shout out to Jose, man, I'm just in a good space right now. I've been diving into financial literacy lately. That's been why, and I've been real creative lately. So I'll keep y'all posted on taking a risk.
Max,
like my man, you
Max, I got a question. I got a question
What's
for
up?
you, bro.
What's up?
You know,
What's up?
so like, what is it gonna take to get a feature from Maximilian Speed? Jose Rivera,
Listen, I was supposed to be
what is
over
it
there
gonna
this
take?
weekend. I was supposed to be over this weekend.
I'm just
But you
saying,
up there
bro.
messing with, you up there messing with, but we ain't gonna say, we just gonna leave it right there. I was supposed to be over, we supposed to be, collabing this weekend.
Man. Long
But you gotta, you gotta get healthy again.
Long as I got my lemon water, my listen, CMOS gang, bro. Listen, I gave up on CMOS gang, but
hey, risk is financial literacy. But yeah, I've been in a real creative space lately, man, and I'm just looking forward to to keep working, and hopefully I can collab with you guys on some things in the future. I know Wayne. I know you said a lot, about them skits and movies and shows and all that type of stuff. Let's get it, man.
Holla, man, right?
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. You're a writer. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So to end the show, who's gonna do the inspiration? Kurt, go ahead.
Oh, I wasn't even expecting.
Inspiration. What do you have inspiration to leave to the followers and the fans?
Kurt, you got something?
Give me 1 second.
You got to look for the end of that, yeah.
While Curtis getting ready, I have a word inspiration.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I just turned 35 this month.
Happy birthday.
I want everybody to know the year 35 is a year of taking risks.
Oh.
So I'm taking risks this year.
That's nice.
And on that note, I pass it back to Jose.
Yo, Kurt, this isn't Jose. This isn't a time to go online and look at inspirational quote online, man. You got to come that from the heart, man.
Listen, man.
You know what I'm saying? You got to get that from the heart, brother.
You know what? I shared this quote with y'all too, and this is from Nipsey Hussle. No, for real though, and it's kind of like like when it's the reason why I say this is kind of like when you feel that you don't want to compromise yourself, you know what I'm saying, just to go along with what society has going on. Nipsey has said in a quote on the interview, he was like, I would rather be at war with the world and be at peace with myself. You know what I'm saying? So that's something that I've been trying to live by recently. I ain't even looked that up online. I had another quote, but it just kind of like just hit me like that. So so all you people out there that's being creative or that's trying to like get things going, like it's okay to disagree with what the world got going on. I mean, you can go to war with them with that, but just make sure that when you in your home and your comfort of your creative space, that you at peace.
That's a good one, brother. That's good. That's good. And on that note, you know what I'm saying? Hey, listen, man, it's your boy, first time hosting. You know what I'm saying? So, Wayne and Kurt saved me a few segments, but it's all good. Listen. But it's all good. Listen, man, I enjoyed this episode, man. Shout out to my co-hosts, Wayne and Big Jose. We signing out, man. Y'all have a blessed one. You know what I mean? Take them risks. Take the risks.
Y'all watch the lyrics. Y'all go back and listen to all them controversial lyrics.
Go through every rap CD you got from 1996.
Take those risks, man. Take those risks.
Y'all stay consistent too.
Peace.
And don't give me a headache. All right, bye.